What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about the All NBA first, second, and third team. I'm about to give y'all the list if y'all late, even though I'm making this video a little later than because it was announced yesterday. But you got Giannis Kumpo, Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and James Harden on the first team. On the second team, you got Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, and Pascal Siakam. And on the third and final team, you got Ben Simmons, Tatum, Gobert, Russell Westbrook, and Jimmy Butler. Now, some of these are debatable. Some of them was close. Some people had missed that I had on my list. But for the most part, I had Luka on the first team. I had LeBron on the first team, and I also had James Harden on my first team. The biggest difference between me and them, I did not count Anthony Davis as a center. I counted him as a power forward, which means LeBron took up one of those spots, and obviously you still had Harden and Giannis that took up the other spots alongside LeBron James. So Giannis and LeBron was my forwards, and Nikola Jokic was my center for my first team because he actually does play center. Now, I obviously thought that Anthony Davis was the best big man this year, the best two-way big man. So if he really did play center, I would have put Anthony Davis number one for that center spot. So I'm not saying I disagreed with them, but based off the rules I was given, based off how you vote for this selection, Jokic would be the legitimate center and Anthony Davis wouldn't be. So we don't really disagree. It was just the way the ballot broke out for me and how I was supposed to do it. And I turned it in early, and the rules changed throughout that month, allowing Anthony Davis to be counted, which I didn't know when I turned mine in. So I would have Jokic there, but I also don't mind having Anthony Davis there. And since Jokic got passed by Anthony Davis, that put Nikola Jokic on the second team, which is cool just because I do feel like Anthony Davis had the better season if you count both of them going head to head in the success of the Lakers. And since they both are in the Western Conference Finals and Jokic was probably the best center in the NBA this year, I'm not really surprised that he made it to second team. Also, I did have Kawhi Leonard on my second team. I also did have Chris Paul on my second team. I also did have Damian Lillard on my second team. The part that we disagreed on was the Pascal Siakam. Some people had Pascal Siakam on the third team. Some people had other players on that team. Some people had Joel Embiid on the first, second, or third team. So again, we don't really disagree. The only player that I changed out would be Siakam because I had Anthony Davis at the forward spot instead of Siakam, and I had Siakam on my third team. And like I explained, I would have had Davis on the second team because he's not a center, and I would have had obviously Rudy Gobert as the center for the second team. But since they count Anthony Davis as a center on this ballot, it bumped Jokic down, and it kind of made mine a little off compared to theirs. But I would agree that Siakam, if I would have Anthony Davis as a center on the first team, I would have had moved him up possibly to the second team because I feel like he had a better year than Tatum in a regular season because of the start that he got off and the fact that he's a versatile defender and was very important to the success on the team. And nobody really had the Raptors having a successful season, and Siakam had a big part of that on and because of his two-way play. And then you look at the third team, mine is not too different. We had disagreed a little bit with Ben Simmons. I did not have Ben Simmons on my third team. I also did not have Jayson Tatum, but I did have Russell Westbrook on that team. And like I said, since Anthony Davis was counted as a center, Rudy Gobert fell from my second team. He would have been on my third team if I could have did the same. So I don't really disagree with this list. I'm surprised Jimmy Butler made it because his numbers don't scream amazing. It's 19, 5, and 5, but those are some of the best numbers from Jimmy Butler. Also, his 3-point and his field goal percentage wasn't the greatest in the regular season, so I didn't put Jimmy Butler on my list at all. I also didn't have Jayson Tatum because, like I said, if you count Anthony Davis as a forward, that means somebody has to get bumped off as you will drop Anthony Davis to the second team. That means either Jimmy Butler or Jayson Tatum would be knocked off. And I also had Pascal Siakam dropping if I would put Anthony Davis on the first team. So Siakam was on my third team instead of my second team. And honestly and truthfully, that means Jimmy Butler or Tatum would miss one of this team. And I also had Jayson Tatum being the one that did miss it. But looking at their list, I don't really disagree of having Jayson Tatum on an All NBA team. If anything, if I'm Jimmy Butler and Tatum, it worked out for me because I was able to make the team. You want to make the All NBA teams because it helps you get into the Hall of Fame, especially if you can become an All Star that year and an All NBA player that year. It just increased your chances of making it. Jimmy Butler has made an All NBA team before, I believe. Jayson Tatum, this is his first one. Siakam, this is his first one. Rudy Gobert was able to gallop and get another one. Jokic should be happy that he got another one as he's building up a good resume in his mid-20s. And then you also look at the fact that Chris Paul gets another one. Nobody thought that Chris Paul would be at this level again, missing an All-Star game and All-NBA team for multiple seasons, and to be in his late to mid 30s and being able to get one more to give him his ninth, I believe, is incredible, showing you the testament of the work ethic and ability to adapt and adjust while still evolving as a player. And Chris Paul was able to be that, and I'm happy that he did make it. I am a Celtics fan. I'm proud of Jayson Tatum breaking out and helping us get to the playoffs and being a big reason why we in the Eastern Conference Finals, and for him to get rewarded with the season that he had. People felt like he was a superstar. People felt like he would be a franchise changing guy, and he's been that in year 3, I believe, and that's impressive. You also look at Luka Doncic being able to lock up a first team All NBA in his second season, and that just shows you how important he is to the Dallas Mavericks. It shows you how crazy people was to pick Aiden and Bagley over him, and it just shows you how crazy Atlanta was picking Trae Young as a guy that they will trade down to get, and also get Cam Reddish. We don't know how that's going to work out because Cam Reddish has a lot of untapped potential, and we have to see how he plays out because he was the guy that they selected with the pick with Trae Young, and Trae Young has turned into an all-star, but we don't know how good Cam Reddish will be, so we can't really judge that transaction until Cam Reddish plays at least 3 to 4 years in the NBA. But Luka has shown that he's already arrived. He's already one of the top 10 players, and he already is potentially a Finals MVP in the future if he continues to develop, and if Porzingis can stay healthy and the organization put the right talent around him. The Mavericks will be dangerous for multiple seasons, maybe even the next 10 seasons, if they can keep Doncic happy and keep him to want to be there forever. I wouldn't blame him for that. So it's going to be interesting. And you look at guys that miss. You look at Bradley Beal not making it at all, not making the All-Star team. Not only not making the All-Star team, he didn't even make the All-NBA team, and he averaged 30 and 6. Defense did play a big part of that. His team struggled, and they did not win a lot of games. They also went into the seeding games and had a terrible performance. It's not all on Bradley Beal because he needs help. He needs teammates that can actually do something, and they didn't really have that this year, but his defense was bad, and he did put up some amazing numbers, but we also have to see him play on both ends and lead the team to more wins, and I can definitely see him making one of these teams in the future. And then you also look at the fact that you look at Russell Westbrook, people felt like he was washed, he was done, and he had a dominant second half of the season, and that helped him get to the third team. I had him on my third team, so I wasn't surprised. You also look at the fact that Ben Simmons has made another team. Made his first team too, being one of the best two-way point guards in the NBA, being able to defend multiple positions, being able to facilitate, being able to rebound is so valuable in this league. And people always praise his defense. His defense, his defense, his defense was so elite that it pushed him into an All NBA seeding. But he doesn't shoot. He's not a scorer, but he impacts the game in a variety of ways, and that's just what makes him so special, to be able to be that flexible, that versatile, but also be a unicorn in his own right. it's amazing to have a guy like him in Philly. He's the only person in Philly to even get an All NBA selection. I think on both teams, defensive and All NBA. It shows you that he's not that far, or he has surpassed Joel Embiid as the best player on the Philadelphia 76ers. And a lot of people are saying that they rather have Ben Simmons than Joel Embiid if they would build a franchise around him. And this selection this year on both of the teams really could validate him as a guy that can be a franchise cornerstone or a pillar to build upon in the future with. So we will see with that. But it is some guys that unfortunately didn't make a team. Some guys that came close. I do feel like